The secret of success. Today the room was silent except for the irritating buzz of a dying ceiling fan. 4:45 a.m. The alarm screamed into the stillness, but Arjun didn't move. He stared at the cracked plaster above him, eyes wide open, body heavy with exhaustion. It wasn't physical fatigue that held him back, it was something far worse. It was the kind of weariness that creeps into your soul when life doesn't turn out the way you planned. Arjun had always been a dreamer. Growing up in a modest household in the suburbs of Mumbai, he believed in hard work, in ambition, in the promises education could offer. His parents, who ran a tiny jewelry shop, believed in him too. They had poured everything they had into his engineering degree, their savings, their comfort, even their future. But dreams can be cruel. Graduating with decent marks, Arjun expected the world to open its arms. But the interviews came and went, always ending in rejection. Sometimes he was told he lacked experience. Sometimes they didn't even offer a reason. Months passed. Hope withered. He avoided his neighbors, couldn't meet his mother's eyes, and flinched every time his father tried to reassure him. That morning, he forced himself out of bed and walked slowly through the alley near his house. The city was still waking up, the streets quiet, the air crisp. That's when he saw him. An old man, bent with age but steady in motion, was hammering nails into wooden crates by a cracked wall. His skin was wrinkled, his kurta stained with sawdust, and yet there was something powerful in his presence. Sweat ran down his forehead, but his hands didn't stop. His face didn't frown. He was at peace. Arjun stopped. "Uncle," he said, almost unsure of himself, "why are you working so hard, at this hour?" The old man looked up. He smiled, eyes twinkling behind his glasses. "Beta, success doesn't come to those who wait for it. It comes to those who chase it, even if they have to crawl." Something shifted in Arjun in that moment. It was just one sentence, simple, soft, almost forgettable. But it pierced through the fog of self-doubt in his mind like a ray of light. That night, Arjun sat down at his dusty desk. Instead of endlessly scrolling job portals or replaying failures, he opened an old notebook and began to write. Not just goals, intentions. He wrote, "Learn every day. Add value, no matter how small. Start now, even if it's messy." And right at the top of the page, in bold letters, he scribbled, "Success is not a destination. It's a journey I must choose every single day." The next day, Arjun didn't look for a job. He looked for growth. He began watching free tutorials on programming, revisiting his basics. He joined online communities, started building small apps, and offered help on volunteer tech projects for NGOs, anything to keep moving, anything to sharpen his mind. Days turned into weeks. There were moments he felt defeated again. When bugs wouldn't fix, when his parents silently worried, when his bank balance made him want to cry. But every night, before he slept, he'd look at the sentence on his wall and whisper, "I'm still crawling, but I'm moving." And then, something clicked. A freelance project. A small one, to build a basic website for a friend's cousin. It paid very little, but it paid in something far more valuable, confidence. One project led to another. His work started getting noticed online. Then came the big one, an internship offer from a respected tech firm in Pune. It wasn't permanent. It wasn't glamorous. But it was a foot in the door, and Arjun grabbed it with both hands. At the company, he met Meera, a senior developer with sharp eyes and a sharper mind. She noticed how Arjun stayed late, how he asked questions, how he never once said, "That's not my job." "You remind me of someone I used to be," she told him one evening. Skills can be taught. But attitude? That's what sets people apart. 6 months later, Arjun had his first full-time job. 3 years passed like pages of a book flipping in the wind. Arjun rose through the ranks. He became known not just for his talent, but for his resilience. He paid off his family's debts, moved them into a better home. He still worked late some nights, but now out of passion, not desperation. And every weekend, without fail, Arjun would visit a local community center to teach underprivileged children how to code. He knew what it felt like to be lost, to feel invisible. He wanted them to know they weren't. One evening, after class, a small boy named Sahil tugged on his sleeve. "Bia," he asked with wide eyes, "what's the secret to success?" Arjun knelt down and smiled, the same smile the old man had once given him. "The secret," he said gently. "It's not being the smartest or the fastest. It's what you do when things get hard. When the world says give up and you whisper back not yet. It's about getting up every time life knocks you down. That's the secret." As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden glow over the center, Arjun looked up at the sky. He thought of that old man by the wall, of the cracked ceiling in his old room, of every moment he'd wanted to quit. He hadn't reached some magical finish line. He was still on the journey. But now, he knew success wasn't waiting at the top of a hill. It had always been in the climb. And that, dear listener, is the secret to success. The Wordy Tales.